Welcome back to Important Updates, global news without the noise. Subscribe to stay updated. I bet you didn't know just how much military strength shapes life in Southeast Asia. Let's get straight to it. Southeast Asia is a cluster of nations with long coastlines, rich resources, and some of the world's busiest shipping lanes. This is the ASEAN bloc. Why focus on their militaries? Because in this region, strength is about more than fighting wars. It's about protecting sovereignty and economic lifelines. The South China Sea is a major flashpoint, with several ASEAN countries and China making overlapping claims. A credible military lets you patrol your waters and deter encroachment. It's not about aggression, but about standing up for yourself and keeping trade routes open. No ASEAN country is trying to match the US or China head-to-head. Instead, they aim for a porcupine defense, making themselves too tough to attack easily. This means smart investments in technology, training, and equipment tailored to their geography. Each country's military reflects its unique challenges, whether it's Indonesia's islands or Singapore's city-state. As we break down each nation, remember, we're not just counting tanks and planes. We're looking at how each country builds its defenses to protect its people and economy in a complex region. From Indonesia's vast archipelago to Singapore's high-tech hub, every nation has a different story. The real question, which strategies actually work? Let's dive in and find out. Ready? Here we go. Scene 2. Indonesia. First up, Indonesia, the giant of Southeast Asia, over 17,000 islands, thousands of miles to defend, and the region's largest active military, about 400,000 personnel, plus a huge reserve. The Indonesian army is the backbone, equipped with German Leopard 2 tanks and a mix of old and new gear. Their air force flies American F-16s and Russian Sukhois, giving flexibility but complicating logistics. At sea, the Indonesian Navy is vital. Frigates, corvettes, fast attack craft, and a few submarines for deterrence. Special forces like Kopassus are legendary in jungle warfare and counterterrorism. Indonesia's strength is its sheer size. Big population, big land, big army. But defending so many islands is expensive and complex. Modernizing and maintaining equipment across such a vast area is a constant challenge. Their focus is clear territorial defense. They're a regional heavyweight, but with a massive job. Next, Vietnam, the battle-hardened power. Let's see how they stack up. Moving on. Scene 3. Vietnam. Stay tuned. Vietnam. Military prowess forged in conflict. The People's Army of Vietnam is one of the largest and most experienced in the region, with 480,000 active soldiers and a staggering 5 million reserves. Their military culture is deep, and their army is built for defending against larger invaders. Much of their equipment is older Soviet era, but they've upgraded smartly. Their real strength mastery of guerrilla warfare and home terrain. Vietnam's focus has shifted to the South China Sea, investing in 6 Russian Kilo-class submarines, stealthy and hard to detect. Modern Sukhoi Su-30 jets give them credible air and sea power. Vietnam's edge is its people and history, battle-hardened, fiercely independent. Their weakness, limited budget, much old equipment, but they compensate with strategy and determination. Next up, Thailand, the kingdom's shield. Let's break down their strengths. Scene 4. Thailand. Onward. Thailand's military is professional, well-funded, and closely tied to the US. With 360,000 active personnel and a strong reserve, they're a major mainland power. The Royal Thai Army fields American, Chinese, and Ukrainian tanks, a diverse but logistically tricky mix. Their air force is modern, flying Swedish Gripens and American F-16s. The Gripen gives them a real edge in the air. The Royal Thai Navy operates Southeast Asia's only aircraft carrier, mainly a symbol, but they also have modern frigates and plans for submarines. Thailand's strengths: professional officers, strong government support, and high-quality gear. US ties mean decades of training and experience. Weaknesses: military involvement in politics can distract from defense, and diverse equipment complicates operations. Now, Singapore, the high-tech fortress. Let's see how a small state packs a big punch. Scene 5. Singapore. Keep watching. Singapore, tiny, but a military powerhouse. Only 72,000 active personnel, but mandatory national service creates a massive, well-trained reserve. Their total defense strategy involves the whole nation. The army uses heavily upgraded Leopard 2 SG tanks for urban warfare. The Air Force is dominant, advanced F-15s, F-16s, and soon, F-35B stealth fighters. Airborne early warning planes give them unmatched situational awareness. The Navy operates stealth frigates and advanced submarines, crucial for protecting vital sea lanes. All branches are networked for rapid, coordinated response. Singapore's strengths: technology, training, and strategy. Weakness: tiny geography, no strategic depth, so they train overseas and rely on rapid mobilization. They're the poison shrimp, small but deadly to any attacker. Next, the Philippines. Archipelagic defense on a budget. Let's see how they're modernizing. Scene 6. Philippines. Stay with us. The Philippines, massive archipelago, long coastline, and a tough defense challenge. The armed forces of the Philippines have 140,000 active personnel, battle-hardened from decades of internal conflict. Their focus was internal security, insurgencies, and terrorism, making their soldiers skilled in jungle warfare. But this left external defense underfunded and under-equipped for years. Modernization is underway. New FA-50 light combat jets and Jose Rizal-class missile frigates. These upgrades boost their ability to patrol and defend their waters. Strength: tough, experienced soldiers. Weakness: chronic underfunding and outdated gear. They're making progress but still playing catch-up to build a credible deterrent. Now, Malaysia, a force in transition. Let's break down their capabilities. Scene 7. Malaysia. On to the next. Malaysia, 115,000 active personnel, split between Peninsular Malaysia and Borneo. Their military must operate in two separate regions, connected only by sea and air. The army is well trained, with modernized Polish PT-91 tanks and armored vehicles for jungle terrain. The Air Force flies American FA-18Ds and Russian Su-30s, a potent but maintenance-heavy mix. The Navy is key modern Scorpène-class submarines and new frigates help control the Strait of Malacca and Borneo's waters. Delays and cost overruns in shipbuilding have hampered modernization. Malaysia's strength-balanced force with credible deterrent power. Weakness: budget consistency and procurement issues. They're a solid middleweight, but keeping up to date is a challenge. Now, let's look at the region's smaller militaries. Scene 8. Diverse capabilities. Let's wrap up the overview. Myanmar's Tatmadaw is large, about 400,000 personnel battle-tested in internal conflicts, but focused inward and limited by international isolation. Cambodia's military is army-focused, equipped with older Chinese and Soviet gear, mainly for border and internal security. Laos, landlocked, has a small army-centric force influenced by Vietnam and China. Brunei, oil-rich and tiny, has a small but elite and well-equipped military, relying on strong ties with the UK and Singapore. These countries show ASEAN's diversity, each military tailored to national needs. Brunei focuses on quality over quantity. Cambodia and Laos rely on traditional armies and alliances. Their strength is maintaining stability and sovereignty, not projecting power. For smaller nations, military strength is about internal security and managing big neighbors. They're not major players in regional power balance, but they fit their own security puzzles. Now, who really holds the high ground in Southeast Asia? Scene 9. Let's find out. So, who's the strongest in Southeast Asia? It depends on what you mean by strongest. Indonesia is the heavyweight, biggest population, largest military, and control of key maritime choke points. Singapore is the tech titan, small but with the region's most advanced, integrated, and lethal military. Vietnam is the hardened warrior, battle-tested, massive reserves, and a fierce will to fight. Each leads in a different way. Indonesia with mass, Singapore with technology, Vietnam with grit. Behind them, Thailand and Malaysia are capable middle powers with balanced forces. The Philippines is modernizing fast, aiming to catch up. The region's military landscape is complex and always evolving. There's no single champion, just a group of strong nations, each with a unique strategy to stand their ground. In Southeast Asia, strength is about more than numbers. It's about resilience, strategy, and the will to defend what matters most. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives. See you in the next video. Stay safe. End.